Friends, family, and listeners, welcome back to another episode of From Behind the Booth. We have one of my good friends here and just an amazing, like, all around DJ in person, the amazing Mike Sincere.
What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
It's good to be here, brother. It's an honor actually, because you've been talking about this podcast forever. So I'm glad we finally made our schedules happen. And yes, we're here, baby.
Yeah, it's been long overdue, but it's I think just like anything, like especially with this stuff, it's cool because you don't have to rush it. It'll happen, and when it happens, it'll be the right time because like all of us are so busy in life and in DJing and music and business. Like we're all busy with all of it, and so I think that it's just when it happens, it'll be the right time, and then you'll have a lot to talk about. You'll have a lot to say.
Yes, sir, man. Um, the good thing about that, more things have been happening since then. So we
Yeah,
got a lot to talk
exactly.
about today.
Exactly. I mean, I have a lot of places that I mean, so many areas that I want to go in with you. But I'm open to start wherever. Do you have anything you'd like to start with, or should I just go down my list? Because like I said, I got a lot of stuff that I want to like, talk to you about.
Just go, just go in, brother. Let's
All
go.
right, cool. So, yeah, let's just start about, how long you've been a DJ, how kind of your origins, how that came about.
Yes, I've been DJing since 2005. My uncle Benny Blanco put me in the Scratch DJ Academy, and it just so happened that Mr. Chalk and DJ Hopper were my instructors, which was really dope. And I took that one-on-one class with them and instantly fell in love. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna buy me some turntables, a mixer, some records. Um, that was, I think, it was back when Serato first started, but I'm in high school, so I didn't have a laptop yet. Back then we didn't really. It wasn't a normal thing to have a laptop in high school back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and I didn't even know what Serato was at that point. We were just like, all right, let's just buy some doubles. You know, practice. Matching those up, doing instant doubles. I mean, not instant doubles. Like doing doubles, making some, doing some routines on them, and um, learning like the basic scratches, the fresh and ahs, and it
Yeah,
was
because
cool.
that's pretty much like that 101 class. Like from what I remember, is like they're gonna give you some vinyl. They want you to get familiar with vinyl, right? They want you to build
Exactly.
that like that familiarness with the vinyl and just get like comfortable on turntables.
Yeah, it's really simple class. I mean, it's just like counting the beats, very fundamental. Anyone could do it. I could put my mom in there, and she'll learn it in the
Hmm.
6 weeks. And
Hmm.
yeah, it was great. It's a great intro. Um, really built my love for it. And then also back then, it was really cool because they would bring like special guests all the time. So I think some of our special guests were David Banner. I think he was one of our special guests that we had for our class, and we also had
You guys
uh,
had
D-
David Banner? Hold up.
we had David Banner, bro.
That's crazy. I didn't hear about this. I never heard about that.
Yes, and we also had DMC for Run DMC, which was really cool.
Hey, what
Uh,
real quick, because I'm still hung up on the David Banner thing. Like, what did he do? Like, what did he do?
he
Did
actually
he just
talked
talk?
about he talked about when he started in the music business. He was actually a DJ first
Mm,
before he was a rapper. So I thought that was kind of cool because back then I was a rapper getting into DJing, like kind of like the opposite direction, which is really cool. Yeah, just to see like I had no idea like DJing could be, you know, kind of like a stepping stone for some people or like an actual goal to get to.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you kind of just learning from like a guy who already made it in the music business talk about that he was a DJ. I thought that was awesome.
And that's like, I mean, that's cool because David Banner was like, I imagine around that time frame. Is that when he's hot, or is that when he like, what do you
Super
think?
hot.
Like, yeah, that's like right when he's hot
He was hot. Yeah, he
in
had
that
that
era, right?
that play. Yeah, that play record was already out, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's celebrity stuff right there. Like when you're and you were how old?
I was probably like 15.
Yeah, that's celebrity
Yeah,
stuff, bro.
15.
You're like hearing this track on the radio and then you're seeing this guy in person. And that was like the banger too.
Yo, I use that to transition from DJ to DJ. Like when I graduated high school and I was doing
Mm,
the club
mm,
circuit, because back then you
yeah.
didn't have the dual USB to like get over.
Yeah.
You had to put on an actual record and hope
Mm,
it doesn't skip. It was
yeah.
wild. It
Hope it
was
wasn't
wild.
bent, hope your needles work, yeah, all that stuff. Um, hey, and then real quick with that, you didn't get nothing like autograph or nothing? Like,
I think we took pictures, but I like where those
oh,
pictures are at. They're probably on a actual. They're probably printed out, and I don't know where those are at because back
that's
then it
cool.
wasn't
That's
really
cool.
digital.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. I
man.
actually like really do. I love that track. I really do love that track. And
Yeah,
so like, I mean, I kind of can't even imagine being that age and then like meeting this dude. That shit would be surreal, especially to look back on it. Like, oh yeah, we did that.
dude. The the fact that they actually brought like famous rappers to talk to students that were getting into DJing, I thought that was like the coolest thing ever.
I mean, and that'll really do it for you, man. Like, you're a kid, like not really knowing what to do. Especially at 15. Like, even if you have your like mindset on something at 15, like, you could kind of go anyway. And so to experience that at that age, it's like, oh damn, like that would really make an impact. And it was like, pretty quick. Because it
Exactly.
usually takes a long time to meet a celebrity in any type of other industry or whatever,
No,
you know?
100%, man. I didn't even know what to say. I probably just say my like, hey, what's up? My name is Mike, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean,
I was probably in like what is this dude doing here?
that's
Yeah.
awesome. So then you said somebody else that you said they brought in?
Uh,
Oh,
uh, DMC from Run DMC.
yeah, that's cool. That's tight.
Yeah, man. Super cool. I'm glad that I went that route, man, because I feel like if I wouldn't have done that class, I probably would have never been a DJ, to be honest.
You know what? I say that and I sometimes I feel kind of like bad about it, but it's just a weird thing to say because I just truly feel like I don't think I would have got into it had it not been um so streamlined the way it was, like because I went to the whole program and like I just wanted more, like every day I wanted more, and like they could give it to me and they could give it to me in like the class, but then also if I just hung out, you're with the DJs. You're with DJs that have been DJing for like 20 years. You've been with because that could be the instructor and that could be the student, like your peers. Like your peers there were peers there that like already knew how to DJ, but
Mm.
they didn't know like actually what they were doing or the science behind it. So some of them were going to sharpen things up, some of them were actually to like they've been DJing wrong for 20 years, but they're like, I'm ready to do it right. And like you just there's so many like experiences and things to learn from if you're open to it, because you could sit
Yeah,
down and have a conversation with somebody and then they could tell you about something like that and then you're thrilled on that sentiment, but then you could talk to an instructor and then an instructor is going to talk about DJing for days.
you're just surrounded, bro.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by everything music, and it was a beautiful thing. And I'm glad that you know, now you could do this, virtually to like a lot of DJ coaches and around the world, or just watch YouTube videos and tutorials. But I think just being a part of that culture and being physically there, and then back then there was an actual record store there, so you could buy records. Um,
Yeah, there was a record store like 2 blocks down.
mm,
That was our first field trip.
yep,
That's where I bought my first record.
and
Hopper suggested like what record I should buy, and it was the sample to Hypnotize, the Rise track. You know what I'm talking about?
yep,
Yeah, like
okay,
that bass line. Yeah, he showed me it. He's like, "You're gonna like this," and I was like, "Man, what is this?" Like being a young kid, I was like, "What is this? Like, what's
yeah.
this gonna do?" And he's like, "Trust me." And then I listened to it, and like my face is like lit up. I was like, "Oh, I know this one."
Damn, So that was your first vinyl record. Let me see. What was my
Yeah,
first vinyl record? I'm trying to think. Probably I think Chris Brown Run It was probably like the first one I bought at a store. I was given records my whole life. Like I've been like my uncle,
yeah,
like I said, he worked at Interscope Records, so he was in the marketing department. So he would always just give me records, but I had nothing to play it on. Like I didn't have turntables, so I
yeah.
just had like a mass collection of records over the years since I was a kid, probably like since I was like 9 or 8 years old. And I finally, when I bought my first turntables, I think I bought some 1210s, and then what was my mix? I think it was like a little small little new, not Newmar. What's that real like famous battle one that everyone had back then? Um,
Um, I mean, Newmark's the first one that I think of.
Maybe it is Newmark then. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
I had a cool little Newmark mixer. Um, and I was just like put on records, and I had no idea where it was gonna take me because like back then I didn't only knew the basics, so I was like, all right, well, let me just mess around. So then I would just spend hours and hours after school just like practicing trying to match these beats, and it was pretty hard to be honest. Like I was probably train wrecking like crazy. Um, but it was cool. Like I mastered being able, even if I can't mix these two records, how can I find the correct timing to blend it more seamlessly, like to fade it out, like a little more, like smoother, or
yeah,
like hit the stop button and like just like drop the next one in on the one, like
mm,
just like finding ways to make it work. And I still use these skills to this day because I might
mm.
not have the best mixer in front of me. I might have a pitch fader that's kind of like not working that night, right? And so I gotta find ways to make it more smooth, and I still use those skills, bro. Like to this day,
Yeah,
like how
yeah,
can I make it work?
yeah, for sure. That's one of the things that we're always doing out there was like trying to figure out how can we make it work. Um, that's dope, man. So
Definitely, bro.
then, so then like once you start feeling comfortable enough, then you started doing gigs, right?
Yeah, fresh out of high school, I started just doing anything. I would say yes to everything. It was a backyard party with Nas tanks and party people in the alley. I would do it at like abandoned houses. Would throw like flyer parties, and then I would do well actually I got into it. The very first gig I actually got was spoken word poetry. So that was
Mm,
my way into DJing in front of crowds, and we actually started our own open mic night called We the People,
mm,
and it happened to be right across from my high school at the time, and we were just doing poetry at a coffee bean. So I would DJ tracks and intro whoever was gonna come on next. I would
yeah.
get on the mic and be like, "Hey, we got so and so up." I go back to the turntables, play a beat, and
Mm,
then we finally got a host. And he was actually hosting, and I could just focus on my DJing. But back then, I didn't have turntables because I sold them for a car during my senior year of high school because I wanted a car, and
damn.
all I had was some cheap CDJs, the CDJ 100s that I bought off of Craigslist at the time.
And you sold your tables. That's all I heard.
I, yeah, I
So
sold
you
my
did what? You
turntables.
did what?
I sold my turntables because I thought having a car was a lot cooler than having turntables
Then
at the
you learned,
time.
right? And then you
Then I
learned.
learned that you can make money off of these turntables.
Yeah, yeah. So um shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. Cause there was something that you said that I was gonna say something. Um I don't know. I lost my train of thought on that one.
It's all
But
good, brother.
yeah. So then like tell me like, the next thing you're doing all these, but then like when does it kind of get serious for you, or how did how'd you get back to it? Because you sold your tables.
No, exactly. So I finished high school. I sold my turntables. I did the spoken word, the parties. I
Mm.
found some like all age clubs because I'm not
Oh,
21 yet.
and I was gonna say like
Yeah,
that first gig of yours, like that seems very like in character with you, that's cool though.
Yeah,
Like the
I think that's why I stuck to it because I was like, actually like poetry. I like spoken word. So, being, having a DJ skill, like my actual intention was not to be a DJ. I was like,
hmm
oh, like here's my perfect opportunity to be a DJ. I was like, how can I have my own spoken word poetry night? Well, we need a DJ. We can't afford a DJ, so let me just do it myself.
Yeah.
And then it just evolved from there. People are like, "Oh, I like your mixing. I like your music selection. I have a party coming up. Can you DJ my party?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I could do it for sure." And that was it, man. Just like, hit the ground running. I never stopped.
Yeah. And you like that, like when you did the open mic stuff, did you enjoy that? Like, did you feel like it was labor or did you feel like it was cool, you know?
Nah, it wasn't work. It wasn't
Yeah.
work at all. It was just like a passion project of mine,
Yeah.
and I wasn't getting paid at all. It was never about the money. And
Yeah.
I feel like those were the times where it was the most organic
That's I mean,
because
that's how
back
my like
then,
early gigs were
I
as
was in
well.
school full time. I had a place to live. Um, I was working probably at like a Home Goods or a movie theater. I forgot where I worked at that time, but it was probably like a Home Goods, you know, at the time. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, the DJing's fun. It's like a break from, labor and being in school full time and trying like stressing out over exams and finals. I have a break on my I think it was like a Sunday night or something that we'll do the poetry night. But yeah, it was
And
dope.
and you have a dance background?
A dance background.
Yeah.
I
Do you
mean, I
dance?
would
Did you dance?
I would think I was a dancer, but no, I was never like a
Oh.
legit like dancer. No, I would just
No, because honestly, I just know you to like to dance, you know? So like I
yeah.
don't know why I thought that you had that, you know? But hey, you're a good dancer, bro.
Hey, I
What can I
appreciate
say? What can
that.
I say?
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved dancing. I would like at any family party, I would just run to the dance floor and never be shy and just like do my thing and mimic, the whatever dance moves I learned off of like MTV or BET at the time and
Yeah.
try to bring it to life.
Yeah, bro. I always tell people that if I wasn't a DJ, then like what would I, because they always ask me like what would you have liked to have been? And I always tell them that I would have liked to have been a dancer. Like I do genuinely love to dance, you know. I enjoy that. And then I just have this like of course I have an affinity for dancers or dance culture because, you know, without no dancers, there's no DJs. So I
100%.
appreciate it, you know. I appreciate it and I have a love for that. So I would have liked to have like done some like b-boying type of stuff, you know? Like if I wasn't a DJ, like I always thought that that's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, if I try that now, I'll probably pull something for sure. That ain't gonna work right now, dog. We ain't learning no dance moves right now, homie.
See the way my knees work is
Yeah, the way that my ACL working right now, that thing is barely holding together, dude.
oh shoot. All right, so then so when do like yeah, when does like DJing start getting serious for you then?
So I think the real serious turning point was in I was like 19 years old, and this was back when you had to post on Craigslist to get gigs. There was no social media like really giving you gigs, so I would just go on, Craigslist, make like a really dope post. My MySpace was on point.
Mhm.
I had like the full graphics. I had like GIFs and like I actually paid someone to like professionally design my MySpace, which was a big deal back then. Had like really professional photo shoots and press kit logos and all that. So I was already ahead of like most of the pack already. So it was easy to get like really like legit gigs. And someone found me on Craigslist because they thought I was a really good match for this commercial they were doing. And the commercial
Mm.
happened to be an Adidas house party commercial. But at the time, they were giving me no details at all. Like I didn't know. They said, "Oh yeah, it's for a shoe company. It's gonna be for a few days, and we need you to have like your own equipment, like your own speakers." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I had like some little old beat up JBL Eons I bought. I had a laptop of probably like 5,000 songs. It was not a lot. It may seem like a lot, but that's not a lot for a DJ. You need like about 20 to 30, maybe even 40. And So yeah, I got to the commercial, and it's a Warner Brothers ranch. So I get there, they're like, yeah, we need you to get dressed up and rock Adidas. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have any of that. You didn't tell me what it was, so I don't have any of that right now. And so I get to the trailer, like the wardrobe trailer, and there's nothing left because everyone already got their clothes, and so I'm like left with like the remnants of like whatever's left, and it was horrible. Like I did not look fly at all. Let's just say that. And so
And Mike would know. Mike would know. Mike is
yes,
always looking fly, y'all. So he would know
thank you,
if he
man.
wasn't looking fly for sure.
So yeah, so then I'm putting on this gear, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't think I look good enough to be in this commercial, which ended up happening because I ended up not being in the commercial because the DJ that took my spot was DMC from Run DMC. So I'm not gonna fight over that, bro. I'm like, all right, because they want him in the commercial because he's an artist for Adidas at the time. So let me just name who was there at the commercial. It was like a 5 day shoot. It was Katy Perry, Method Man, Redman, Russell Simmons, Missy Elliott, Kevin Garnett, David Beckham. I know I'm missing a few, but there's like a famous magician. You can watch the video off of on YouTube. Just look up Adidas House Party. I think it's like 2009, 2010. And if you guys find that commercial, I was the DJ providing all the music for that commercial.
I want to see that
And
now. We gotta look it up. We gotta look it
yeah,
up. I need I need Jamie from Joe Rogan's podcast. So Jamie, look that video up. Pull it up, please. Let me see
yo,
this.
pull it up. But that was it. Like I'm in college. I'm like, yo, this is pretty cool. Like, just from doing all the backyard house parties and like the little sketchy nightclubs, and to getting to being on a set with like some legends,
Dude,
like
that's
Russell Simmons
crazy.
and all that. So
That's insane. That's insane. Um, so in the commercial though, do they show him? Do they show him DJing?
yeah, they show him DJing.
So hmm, that's crazy. That's real
I mean,
crazy.
he wasn't actually DJing. He was just playing. I
Yeah,
mean, I already
yeah,
had the song
yeah.
playing, and he was just like going
Oh, they
crazy.
just shot they shot that scene when you were there as well then?
Yeah, I was on set the whole entire time. Like I
Yeah,
was just like behind the scenes, like watching the camera guys do their thing,
yeah.
making sure the music was playing.
Crazy.
But
That's
that,
crazy.
it
How
was cool.
how soon did that happen into your into your DJ like timeline? Was that like,
It was like 1 year in,
Jesus, bro?
1 year in,
That's
yeah.
insane.
And I wasn't even a good DJ at that time, like at all. I was just
But it
finessing
was
whatever I could.
motivation to be a good DJ, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
That's
like
crazy. Yeah, so
like
that's what you said. That's like when, it kind of got serious for you because that sparked it, huh? Like it like made the
definitely
light go in your head like, hey, this could be real.
this could be real. And then that was like my first big check. And they asked me, so how much you want to get paid? And I had no idea how much I needed to get paid because at the clubs were only paying me like, like 75 to $100 at the time. And
Yeah.
then I'm like doing probably parties for like a few $100, maybe even less. I don't even know. I was doing gigs for free, bro, just to get
Yeah,
exposure.
for
You
sure.
know?
I mean, in a party like that, you would have did it for free. I
Yeah,
mean, I would do it
honestly.
for free to this day.
Yeah,
Like truthfully.
yes. But I'm always
Hopefully
gonna.
they don't hear that because I mean, when that comes through, I'm gonna charge them, but
I'm definitely charging everybody right now.
I'm charging them, but I
E
would love to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Even now to this day, like I always try to get my value and try to make it happen as much as possible. If not, I pass it on to a DJ that could take
So
it.
what? Hey, so what did you end up telling them? Do you remember?
It was definitely 10 times or like 20 times what I would get paid at a club. That's for sure.
You told them that,
I told them that.
and
Yeah,
then they were with it. Like they didn't even
they're like,
flinch,
"Oh
huh?
yeah, that's fine." I'm like, "What? I should have charged more. I should have charged more."
It's always that.
Yeah,
But damn. But I mean, but hey, for your first year to get you like you said to get that kind of money, like
yeah.
and then to meet those kind of people. Did you end up getting to like, socialize or like, talk to any of them? Did you get
I
to
did.
fraternize with any of them?
I did. Method Man and Redman. the most probably.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we
That's
were actually he was actually showing me like his like DJ skills. Which one was it? It says Redman, Method Man. Cause I do confuse those two. Hold on, Redman. So Redman was on my turntables, and then Method Man had a leaf blower and was blowing us with a leaf blower while we were DJing. They're just messing around the whole time. It was like a legit house party, bro.
that's so
Um,
crazy. That's
and then
insane.
and then I talked to who else did I talk to? Russell Simmons. I introduced myself, and then Missy Elliot. I gave like a hi to, and then that was it because she was in the zone. She wasn't talking to nobody. And then so like this is like the kind of gig you can't bring no camera here.
Yeah.
You can't have no phone. You gotta sign an NDA and all that. Like you ain't doing nothing. Um, I definitely snuck in my camera. I didn't sign no NDA, so but I had like a little bootleg camera at the time, so I wasn't getting like really good pictures. But I did get some pictures, and I posted on my socials like years back.
Crazy.
So that was cool.
That's crazy, bro. That's man, that's one for the books, you know? That's insane.
That definitely like got my confidence where it needed to be to like pursue DJing as a career. And I think wasn't too long after that where I decided to go full time. And when I went full time, I wasn't financially secure, but I just believed in it so much that I was like, I can make this happen somehow.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, and that's that like that that taste of that's that taste, and then it's kind of like I need more. Like I gotta
I want
have it,
more.
you know, I gotta have it and I'll do anything for it. And you have, you know, like you've made it happen, bro. Like I
Thank
see
you.
you on everything and you've definitely made it happen. I mean, and you're not even stopping. Like you're continuing to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give a lot of credit to where like where it's due, and I think I have to give credit to Scratch, just like for having that academy, and then also giving the DJs that graduate from the academy or that went to the academy jobs. So they found me on Craigslist as well when I was like 19, and then they gave me an opportunity to start DJing stores. So I'll be DJing at like Bloomingdale's, Oakley, Vans, like all these little these stores at the malls and shopping centers. That was like what kind of kept my boat afloat in my early 20s. I was like, okay, well, I can make some extra money doing these gigs. And, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough, right? It was enough to like get me by. And, and I still have a working relationship to this day. And I've done some really cool gigs for Scratch. And, I got to give them that love for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've done a couple events for them, but that's awesome. I know I see you, man. I see you. And for who anyone who doesn't like follow you yet, and I know they will, they'll see it too, you know, it's very apparent. And you do a great job of showing that. And I know it's all part of, the brand and the social media aspect of it. And why don't we even like talk about that, like,
Yes, let's get
because I
into
think
it.
you're very on point with all that. And I mean, at least the foundation is there. Like, it's not going to be hard to understand as to why that's built, because we see that you were a year in the game, and your uncle's at Interscope Records, and like I said, you did this Adidas party thing. Like, it's all there. So yeah, like, explain to us, or like, whatever you've learned and things that you want to share on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I was under the impression. I was like, okay, cool. Like my uncle's in the business. My auntie was at Geffen at the time. I'm gonna be spoon fed all these connections, like these gigs. Like I'm gonna be good. It was not that at all. Like I thought it was. But like I said, like they got me into the Scratch thing, and then it catapulted into like all these other things, and it snowballed from from the commercial I did, and from all the in stores I did. That led to more like weddings and parties. But yeah, I think like what happened, like what got me to the point where I'm at now is like just fully taking advantage of social media as a free advertising for my services, you know. And when I first started doing it, not too many DJs were doing recaps about their gigs or like taking pictures of them at their events. And as soon as Reels came out, I just kind of like jumped on it just to like, you know, make little mini commercials of like about what I do or make like really cool recaps that makes my gigs look fun that could attract another client that like, oh, I want this DJ because I like his vibe. I like how he's making everyone smile, and I like the way that he's smiling, the way he's dressed. Yeah, dude, being on brand is just so important right now. If you're not on social media posting about your gigs, you're missing out on. You're leaving a lot of money on the table right now. You got to post about your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not even, it's not like braggadocious. It's a
Nah,
business strategy, and
exactly.
you are a business. A DJ is a business, and businesses need to make money, and that's one way that, we generate new clientele and we make money.
100%.
And the cool thing is, if you do a great job at it and you enjoy it, like these are all like bonuses, things that come from it, but also like you can get monetization eventually, I don't know. I mean, I know your social media stuff is up there, but are you getting monetization from any of that yet?
Yeah, I get paid partnerships from different um like clients. Like I've gotten I had a deal with Bose for a while. I did a lot of food companies and drink companies that were sponsoring me.
Hmm.
I even did
And then for
I
these
did
things, oh, go ahead, you can go ahead,
no
sorry.
oh yeah, so I did so these I would find online or they would DM me. And then or honestly I would just hit up products I already use. I love these products, so let me hit them up. Let's see if we can collaborate and I can make a post about them. And I think this really took off during COVID because I needed to make income and there was no DJ stuff available. And I already kind of like accumulated a good amount of followers to at least get started as like a micro influencer. And then they were down for it. So, you know, that's how I got started. Like even to this day, I'm still getting hit up for like, can you promote my charger? Can you promote my speaker, my DJ controller? Like, there's definitely ways to make money in this business with your following that you already have. And if you think you need like 100,000 followers or 50,000 followers, you don't. You just need a really cool like brand. You can have 1,000 followers and still make money. Like you don't need a lot.
That's good. And that's cool, man. Like that, you had all these people. Like, so you said that did they reach out, or you said you would message them sometimes? I'm curious about that process, like how does that work? I mean, this is a little side note, but I think it's an important topic to cover, and I don't think it's really being like, I don't hear it too much, and it's like a maybe a taboo thing right now, but like,
It is a taboo thing
there's
for
there's
sure.
a there's a well, what I was gonna say is just the whole like, chat GPT thing, the whole like
Yeah.
AI stuff, all that stuff. Me personally, like, I love it. I have really been like just, asking away at it and stuff like that. And just really just trying to be as familiar with it as I can like for myself, but also, because I know that it's coming. Like it's gonna be integrated in everything eventually. It's on the way,
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. So I've been asking a lot of things, you know, like kind of just advice on ventures that I'm curious about, or like ideas that I have, and it's nice to be able to go to that and at least just have a conversation and kind of like flush out ideas. Doesn't necessarily mean that all of it's right and that, that's it's all 100% accurate or whatever, but it is nice to have a place to discuss these ideas and immediately, because yeah, you can call a friend, but maybe they're not available or whatever it is,
Yeah.
or maybe the friend's never even been in that situation, so they wouldn't even know what to say. So I do like having that option. But as far as, like where you're talking about when you reach out, like, yeah, can you
Mm.
talk us through that process a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I just speak from my voice, and I speak from the voice of just like really being a fan of these products. Like I love, like I'm I'm plant based, right? So I love like food. I'm a foodie at heart. So when I find ways to like collaborate my my worlds together, like a DJ eating this bomb food, right? Like going to like restaurants or like trying out new products, like it's easy for me. It's organic because it's real. Like I love working with these brands,
Hmm.
you know. But I feel like for like to relate to another DJ, like maybe that's trying to get like a Pioneer sponsorship or a Bose sponsorship. Like how do they approach that? I feel like just being on top of your reels, being on top of your videos as much as possible. Because if you already have traction already, if you already have engagement, and that engagement is the clientele that they want, right? So if you're already a dope DJ and you already have a following on TikTok and Instagram, it won't be that hard to get at least some product from a brand. I'm not saying you're gonna get paid for it because that's kind of hard. Even like the top like YouTube reviewers, they barely get product that they have to get they have to return most of the time.
Mm.
So, but as a DJ, you gotta get creative with who do you want to sponsor you or who do you want to work with, right? It has to align with your values or like your style, your swagger. And like for me, it's food. It's food. It's food and fashion and like technology. Those are like probably the three things that I align with the most, and probably sports because I'm a huge like sports fanatic,
Yeah.
and I also DJ for sports teams, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I think if you use like Chat GPT to like help you type out a really cool email, right? That would be, I mean, I would still look over it and make sure it's in your voice, even if you were to use AI
So
to help you with that.
and real quick with that, so
Yeah,
you use it, right? You've
I honestly have never used Chat. I've never even seen anyone use it before.
slap you, bro. Pow, 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 pow. Mike, you got to try it. You got to try it. I will say this: you have to try it. You're too smart to not try it. Like you're too smart to not have tried it because I think, man, like a guy like you utilizing it, I'm smart. I utilize it, but I'm smart in my own way, and you are too. And I think, like, where you are with like all your marketing and all that stuff, like, I mean, who knows, bro? Like, it'll turn you into like you're already big, bro, but it's gonna turn you somewhere like that you never been before. I would say because of like how smart you are and how creative you are, and that's the people that I think are really gonna like benefit from the most are those type of people. Because if you're just so structured and you're very like in this box, then you won't know like how to interact with it. But to creative, it's like the possibilities are endless, and it's like
Mm.
you're just constantly having fun with it. Like imagine being in a like a freaking little AI space, and you can do anything that your little mind can imagine. And to the basic people, you're gonna be like, let me put a shovel in my hand, or let me see what it looks like to see the sunset, or something like really simple, right? But then they're gonna stop there. They're gonna do that like one or two times and be like, that was cool, and then just go back to reality. But to someone like us that like where the possibilities are endless, then we're gonna keep going back to it, and we're gonna be like, what if I did this? Because I did this, I didn't do this, but what if I did it this way? What if I did it,
Yeah.
here, now, then, said this differently? It's crazy. And that's just the text version. Like all the stuff is going crazy. Like the text, that's the text version, but there's an image generator, so you can literally type and it'll generate an image. So I've even had it um like I've had my girl tell me about a dream, and then I
Yeah.
I described the dream in text, and then it
Yeah.
painted her a picture, and I was like, "Did it look like this?" And then she'll go, "Oh, like yeah, but maybe this was different." And then I can go
Yeah.
in and edit it, and change that part that was different, and then like, how about this? And then she's like, yeah, just like that. And it's just cool because
Damn.
like, when could you ever do that? You know, when could you ever like bring a dream to life, and just via like, if you can, and you don't even have to type it. You could
Yeah.
that's a cool thing too. You turn your computer on, like type, or what is it? Talk to text.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
you can just literally, as long as you can verbalize it, it can be a reality, and that's just imagery stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's just a whole bunch of stuff that like really is exciting to me. And I think that like the DJs right now that are killing it on social media, like the ones that are, because we are killing it, I think we're killing it in
Yeah.
our own way. But the ones that are really killing it, that we would like be like, yeah, we're doing maybe 10,000, 20,000, but the ones that are really killing are at 100,000, or
Yeah.
half a mil on these views.
Yep.
Like a lot of them, I would be very surprised if they're not using Chat GPT at all, if they're not using any
Yeah.
type of stuff, because it's just guidance. Like it's like it's still you, but with
Yeah.
you, like that's just in a laser beam, because you can refine it. You could be like, this is what I would say, but how can I say it in under 10 seconds? And then it'll tell you
Mm.
exactly how to say it. So it's still you, but you're saying it under 10 seconds, and that's fast enough to grab the attention of the viewer, the average viewer,
That's dope.
you
Honestly,
know?
I never even messed with this, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've actually made a couple personal calls to like my friends, um, where I told them, I was like, hey, if you're not on this, like you need to be on it. And I know for a fact that I didn't call you about it, but I know when I talked to you on the phone, like,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, I was telling you that I was like really, like getting nerdy with it, and it's just like I would only really express it and encourage it to people that I think, have that like frame of mind. Because yes, anybody could use it, but not everybody's gonna see like the possibilities.
Definitely. And you gotta stay open minded because I feel like when, as an example, with like with DJing, everyone's like, oh well, if you're not on turntables, you're not good. Or like if you're on, if you're not using turntables at your gigs and you're using controllers, no one's gonna take you serious. And then now I see all those the same DJs using controllers, so it's kind of like just getting with the times, right? Like using Serato, using stems, like using the tools that are available to you. Um, this is like one of those tools, right? You should use it, if it's available to you. At least give it a shot, right?
Yeah,
Especially if
and
you're a creative. I
and I
think
think that I
if you're
like
putting
the
out content,
the
I
way
feel
that
like
I feel about it.
you could tell it like, oh, like give me the five most trendy DJ captions right now,
You
and
could.
it'll probably come up with some dope stuff.
You could. I mean, and then what I was gonna say is just the way that I treat it is like, I really feel like and yeah, I just kind of wanted to take a second to say this, but I really truly feel like it's the next gold rush.
Yeah.
I really think that. Like, I think that there's a lot of people that are gonna get rich off of it because of like the fact that they're harnessing it, and it's just about really figuring out like how to utilize it, and how
Mm,
best to utilize it. Because I heard this saying, and I just haven't made it made sense for myself, but pretty much what they said is like, the people that got rich during the gold rush were not the actual people that went looking for gold. It was the people
mm,
who sold them the shovel or the rake.
mm,
Those are the people that they say they got rich. And so it's kind of like, that's the part that I'm trying to figure out. Like, as a DJ, how can I facilitate that? Like, how can I be the shop that sells people the rake and shovel? And I think that like me understanding it to like the most of my ability, maybe when that time comes, like I'll be like, oh, I know how to open up shop. I'll open up shop
mm.
by doing this, because I already know how to use these tools, but everybody else doesn't know how to use them, you know?
Facts.
So yeah, man, that's just my big take. Anybody who's listening, or watching, I highly encourage, if you haven't take a peep at that, I really encourage just checking it out and seeing how it can and harness, like how it can, like you can harness it, because it's gonna be a big thing. And like I said, I know a lot of DJs personally. I know that they are using it. I could tell by just certain things that I see, like certain videos. I can tell by kind of like the ideas because they're ideas that I have also like come across that Chat GPT has recommended. Um, but and it's no knock, but I just, I'm really just trying to figure out how best to utilize it in my own way.
Yeah.
But it has. I'll tell you one aspect that's really helped me. That I was really proud of myself the other day for is recently I changed my prices and I've been trying to get a lot more money for whenever I leave my house to go do a private event. And so I had a client that I booked. Let's just say last year I booked them, or like maybe a year or two ago, I booked them for like $1,000, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted more money out of them because my prices have rose, but I felt weird like asking for more money when it was kind of the same service, like quote
Yeah.
unquote. So I felt indifferent about it. So I had the chat like kind of like help me out with a text, and pretty much like what I did was like I wrote it down. I wrote down my like what I wanted to say. I wrote down what I wanted to say, and then I had the chat be like, okay, now revise this and make it sound professional. And then I did a
Man.
mixture. Like I did my stuff, but I added like their professionalism, and and then I sent the text. And
Mm.
I did that a couple times. I did that to like this house party event, and then I did it to like a college event, same kind of concept. And it really made me feel good because I said what I wanted to say, but I said it in a professional manner, and that's kind of difficult sometimes because like you don't want to like, especially with me, and communication's big for me. I don't want to say something where I know that I'm like selling myself short,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do something that's like offensive to them, so it kind of can feel like a very fine like cable that you're balancing on sometimes. And so with that, it really just helped me send like perfectly said message that I was really happy to have sent. And it wasn't like I was in the back of my head like, damn, I should have wrote this, or I should have said this.
Yeah.
And I mean, truthfully, the house party gig, they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay the difference pretty much, but that's on them.
Yeah. You
And
shot
and
your
I
shot
and I'm
though.
and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because I said what I wanted to say, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's just one simple way that I had it help me, and that was like like a couple days ago during this week.
Definitely, man. I feel like every DJ should always be increasing their pricing as long as you're bringing more value every year too. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, and
bring
and
more
and
value.
and with that, like I learned something as far as your value goes, and that is I did an event. Oh, I did an event with, damn, I'm like forgetting his name right now. I need to look his name up, but is a famous. I posted about him, but he's a famous like an inspirational speaker, motivational speaker. He's a motivational
Yeah,
speaker. But I'm totally blanking on
like
his
a
name.
Gary V,
Uh, uh, the preacher, the like the black preacher, like that's what he's kind of known as.
Michael Beckwith, the secret, the guy that was on the secret.
Like not Michael Beck. It's not that. But it's. I know if you look up like the hip hop preacher, that's what it is, not the black preacher.
Oh, E.T.
Yes,
Eric
yes,
Eric
yes,
Thomas.
yes,
Eric
yes,
Thomas.
yes. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I was
Yeah.
I was getting mad. But yeah, I had an event with him, and one of the cool things that he talks about, like with value, and I was DJing, so like I was just hearing the talk, like like even though I was on the job, I was like listening. I was listening, like I was all in. But in his talk, he pretty much said like that his rate was like, let's just say it was like 50,000 one year, and
Yeah.
then the following year it was 75,000 at the end of the year. And
Mhm.
then the person that they had, so person had contacted him when he was at 50,000, client contacted him at 50,000, and then the next year called him up again, like in December of the following, like like I said, the next year, and then found out the new rate was 75,000, and the client was like, "What's going on here? Like, why? You're the same guy. Why would I pay 25,000 more?" And
Yeah.
he goes, "Yeah, well, I'm not the same guy. I wasn't I didn't direct a Oscar nominated movie uh last year. I did this year.
Yeah.
I did this year, so now the rate's up." So it's just like that's it. And it's true though. It's true because
Yeah.
like that experience that you experience when you're directing a movie, you've never done that, but now you have. Now you have it on your resume, and now you're that much more valuable because I have that work experience as opposed to this person who doesn't. And I know that much more from that experience. And I don't know if you're trying to direct something, but if you were, then I have that knowledge and that value. And again, not everybody has that. So that's one more little like notch in my belt, and thus I'm worth more money.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think when I started getting into spaces of like A-list celebrities and like signing NDAs and like Kardashian level kind of celebrities, I was like, all right, well, I need to raise my prices, and then I also bought better equipment, right? So I'm looking better. Um, I really worked on my DJ skills even more, and just like I spent more time on my client, like curating a playlist that would fit their vibe, right? And even though I have all these like crates and like sets that I come ready with, like I'm still looking at who's on the dance floor. I don't play on I I don't I don't have this playlist. Like I'm playing 1 through 100, and that's it. I still always go in there with an open mind. Like I'm gonna see which like vibe works for this kind of crowd, and I feel like every DJ should always keep an open mind whenever they're DJing events. Like don't just stick to your playlist that they give you, right? Use that as a guide to see what works, right? Like, so if they give you a playlist of like, 80s, 90s, 2000s, maybe some hip hop, like that's current, and you see like that, all the new hip hop is like popping off, then lean more into that. Stay away from the older stuff, right? Or
Yeah.
if they want like house and like Latin music, and then the cumbias are working. Play more cumbias, all right? And then when they get bored of that, and then you go back to the other stuff, right? So I feel like yeah, just like doing that helps like tremendously. But yeah, every DJ should be posting more online as much as possible. Shooting your shot to every gig that you want to do. If you see a dope festival, or if you see a dope you know um event that you want to be at, DM them, shoot your shot, send them your press kit, send them your headshots, your logo, your mixes, whatever you have. Um, yeah, just that's how I get my gigs. I always shoot my shot. I have the ultimate confidence to talk to anyone. I will go up to them in person. I would email them. I would DM them. Like I believe in myself that much that I could kill at any event. And if it's not my strength, I'll find someone that is my that is a strength to come along with me to help me out.
I want to ask something about because you do deal with some higher end clients. Um, what is what is some important staples that you do, or as far as like talking to them? Like if you can, like I'd love to hear like even like your step by step, like let's just say um they send you a text. So like, "Hey Mike, it's celebrity, whoever, right?
Yeah,
Um I have an event this day, interested in your services. I heard about you through a friend." Um, you know, and that's kind of like the general like text of it, right? So then what do you do? Like, do you schedule a call with them? Do like walk me through that process?
yeah. It's rarely ever them. It's always somebody that's their assistant, their management, their PR person.
Right,
You rarely ever deal with the actual celebrity,
right.
bro. Like especially when you get to that level of A list, like you're never like they're not DMing you on Instagram or like texting you. They don't want you to have their personal number.
Got you.
Um, so yeah, it's always like
A
building a good
representative.
Yeah, it's always a representative of theirs, and I mean just like you approach them like every other gig. It's nothing different as long as you always have a strong voice and like you know how much you're worth and just give them that value. Don't be scared that you're gonna lose them. I've lost some really big clients, but I never let it deter me from keeping that value and that price moving forward. Because I don't want to go back to what I was making back then. I don't. And I won't. Like, no matter what. Like, I would rather get a job and be more selective on my gigs, right? And still get paid what I want to get paid than to revert back to 2005. I mean, 2010 or 2020, even 2019 pricing. Um, if if you're not increasing your pricing even by $5 every year, you're doing the wrong thing. You should always be increasing your pricing
Yeah.
because like gas prices are going up, food's going up. We live in California, so especially for the ones that live here or any like major metropolitan city that's getting expensive to live in, you should always be increasing your pricing because your pricing here is not the same as of Georgia pricing. Because in Georgia, their minimum wage is like $8, $9. Here, you're looking at like 17 to like $20,
Yeah.
depending on where you're at, right? So that should that should be your kind of gauge to like, okay, well, if the minimum wage is going up, then my DJ wage also needs to go up,
Yeah.
right? So just
Yeah.
keeping that in mind.
Yeah, and actually I really did want to hear about like what's your process like, do you make it apparent to, make them fill out something on your email page? Like what like, just I want to know that.
Yeah, I'm very basic. I just everything's happening through email. I do have a form on my website. Website is just for people that find me on Linktree or that they use my Linktree off of my website. I mean, on my Instagram. Sorry, my Instagram or like or TikTok. Um, Sometimes I'm just like I'm able to handle the client through my DM sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, or even like if they somehow get my number. Um, so like now I used to take a deposit. And then I used to back in the day I wouldn't even take the deposit. I would just wait till like the day of and collect the check or the Venmo or the PayPal.
Hmm.
Now I prefer to get paid up front before I even show up.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah, because I think like chasing down drunk clients is not the business, bro. I'm pretty sure you dealt with that,
Mhm.
and that was like a learning experience for me. So every DJ, let's set the standard, y'all. Let's set the standard that we get paid up front. Because honestly, like we've all been there. We all had like a drunk mom that was supposed to pay us. That she probably passed out in a room somewhere, and you can't find her. And I mean, corporate clients are a little different because they have like a net 30, right? So they're gonna pay you in 30 days no matter what.
Yeah.
But at least get a deposit. Even them, I get a deposit. I find a way. I tell them like, hey, like I need like some type of compensation to hold the date for you. I'm not just gonna hold the date for you, right? Because then if you cancel, right? If you cancel and I have nothing in my bank account, I'm not gonna chase you down for money. I don't like doing that. So I feel like every DJ should always be um getting your full money up front, even if it's like a week before minimum. Like get your money. Everyone should, because like the way I see it is, if they can't afford you a week before the event, they can't afford you day up. That's the way I see it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like what you're saying at least, especially with the deposit at all times because that's true. And a big company, like, because of who they are, like, in your heart, like, you think that they get special perks, but they shouldn't, because guess what? Like, when it comes around to it and you have this date booked for them for a year and then they cancel on you, eh, regardless of the name, like, a cancellation is a cancellation, and that's missed money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have less leverage when you have $0 and trying to collect that money versus like, oh, I already have $1,000, so cool. Like, it's gonna be easy to like keep that, right? But if you have no money, it's like, oh well, you never DJ my event, you never showed up. I'm not gonna pay you the money, right? So you don't want to be in that situation where they have the leverage. Always have the leverage
Mm.
with your clients. Get your deposit because that's what like you can even be like, well, I'll hold this $1,000 until you reschedule, and then I'll and I'll just take it out of that. So you at least have like some other option. But when you have no money, it's gonna be hard to like collect that. Well, you owe me $1,000 because you canceled. Well, no, I don't because you never DJ'd. Oh, then you're dealing with a legality issue, right? Like you got to hire a lawyer. You got to take them to court. You don't want to go to that. So just get your deposit. If you can, get the full amount. And then I, I'm totally fine refunding whatever portion we agree on in the contract, right? So
Yeah.
like COVID was a whole mess. I definitely had to pay people back. It was bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was really bad because
Yeah.
there's people like whole families were getting sick, and I was like, oh okay, well
Man, you just reminded me.
it is what it is.
I'm gonna put a little asterisk here. Because
Yes.
I was gonna talk to Rex, DJ Rex, and he kind of told me about that stuff too. Because I think it was him, or maybe I think I was just wondering about him because I have a friend who does is like booked every weekend with like quinces, and he was telling me that he had a lot of money that he had to like give back,
Yep.
and that it was craziness, and I wonder how that's the kind of question that brought or just came in my head right now because someone like Rex is like booked every weekend with weddings,
Every single weekend.
so that's big money, and I know he's doing those events for big money. So if he's accepting like half of those deposits, and it's like that's a ton of money. So I'm just wondering like how he saved his ass on that, or like how he managed all that. Because I truthfully, man, like I don't even have that discipline built yet. Like I don't have that
Yeah.
discipline built. So if I had a bunch of money like that I had accepted in advance,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would not have spent it and been ready for like a fucking pandemic, you know?
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone was ready at all.
Well, I mean,
But yeah,
because I
I
think
just
it is actually like that's like a rule, Like I talked to a
yeah.
business coach and they were saying like that money that you receive from an event like that, you don't touch it. They're like, you do not touch that.
Mm.
That's what they told me. And I haven't even like been like try to like lived it, but I mean that's a pretty good example as to why you wouldn't want to touch it,
Yeah.
you know?
Definitely. I mean, the goal should be, I mean, the goal for every DJ, right, is like the money you make as a DJ shouldn't be the only source of income that you're making, right? So like, I think it's kind of like a basketball player, right? Like a basketball player that like LeBron James. Let's use him. Let's use him as an example, right? He could be like, all right, well, I want to get paid $1 million, but I want to own the sports team because he sees the big picture, right? So he sees like right now he has like a sports agency. He has his I think it's uninterrupted, his like network. He has his movie production. So I feel like as a DJ, because I saw a post on Instagram like someone said, what do you 40-year-old DJs if you were to give advice to a 20-year-old DJ, what would it be? And I said my answer on that comment was don't be just a DJ in your 40s. That was my advice. And I didn't mean it as like a disrespectful way. I meant it like don't get your money from just DJing in your 40s. Have some real estate, have some stocks, um, whatever works for you, right? And you could have like I know DJs that are really successful and they're teachers during the week, right? And that's super dope. Like I feel like as long as you shouldn't be depending on your DJ money, especially if you're a club DJ. If you're a club DJ and you're depending to stay just as hot into your 40s, it's probably not going to work out. It's very rare that you see a 40-year-old DJ continue that same amount of excellence and gigs and probably pay because it's kind of like a rapper. You have your hit song. Like you're a chingy, you have it like right there, and you're hot in the moment, so you can probably charge whatever you want to charge. Now you're probably making a few thousand if you're lucky, right? You're not gonna sell out any arenas or any spots. Even 50 Cent at his height, Get Rich or Die Trying, he could have sold out anything, and then it's just like I feel like we need to have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and don't just the DJs need to get more financially like comfortable, and it would be awesome for like the DJs moving forward. They don't even touch their DJ money. It's just like that's their retirement. That's their savings. That's like how they buy their house, their cars, and all that. Um, find find another source of income that could take care of all your bills, everything. Because I see a lot of these just, oh well, I've been thinking about going full time. I'm like, so what's your plan? Well, just to do what I'm doing right now. Like, no, that can't be your plan because that's not a plan. If you're barely getting by with doing what you're doing now, how are you gonna get by full time doing what you're doing now? You know.
Yeah.
So everyone sees it as like it's all like rainbows and unicorns. Like it's easy to do to be a full time DJ. Like, what do you get to sleep in all day? You know, you get to just like work on music and like chill and like but nah, man, it's a job. It's a full time job. We're always on call, right? Like I'm sure you get like phone calls at the weird hours of the night, and you get emails, and you got to respond as soon as possible because if you don't respond, another DJ's gonna take your gig.
Yep. Yep. And they're gonna offer to do it for half the price.
Yeah, yep, I've had that happen. Had that happen. But yeah, man, just I think just stay on it. Stay on your grind, DJ. Stay on your grind, cause somebody else gonna take your shine, baby.
Hey, so I wanted to talk to you because I know you went to Nam, right?
I was there, yeah.
So how did that go? You know, maybe even give us an overview of like Nam to anyone like, that hasn't experienced it.
Man, Nam is super dope. I recommend it to DJs that want to talk to, you know, the like DJs that are better than you skill wise, career wise. It's the perfect opportunity to like make those connections because they're not in their workplace, right? So they can focus on talking to you. I know it's a like kind of disheartening when you show it to an event. Like, let's say like Jazzy Jeff is DJing at an event. You're like, oh man, it's my perfect opportunity to like tell him about like my party or like here's my mixtape. Like, he's not in that mindset of like talking to you because he's there to work and make money and get out. So I think Nam is like the cool place where you can like talk to like legends in the game, like the Q-Berts of the world, and all the beat junkies are there. You could just like you know when they have time off, just like chop it up with them, right? I think I had like some Nams like where I think Craze showed up. I think A Track might have showed up at a Nam. You just never know who's gonna show up. You got Stevie Wonder showing up.
Yeah, I remember that. I
Um,
remember that year when Stevie Wonder was there.
he was there this year, just performing at the Ultimate Ears booth, just hanging out with everybody.
Oh, I
I
remember.
was
I remember one year I went and then he was like walking through like the crowd to a booth and we were like, there he is, look at.
yeah, freaking legend.
I
Um,
had a funny experience last time I went. Um, I was at the Pioneer section and um, I was hanging with Gravity and shout out to Gravity One, Missy man, love you. And yeah, we were hanging out and then this dude like walks up and he's in stilettos. He has like long black hair and it's kind of combed over
yeah,
and he's like in like leather and like skinny jeans and he has like this like supermodel girlfriend right next to him and then there's like a security guy too. So I'm
yeah,
like looking at this dude and I asked Gravity, I was like, Gravity, is that Skrillex? And he looks and he starts like kind of like laughing, but we're close to the guy, so he's not laughing real hard, but he's
Yeah.
like snickering. And I was like, "Is that him or what?" And I really didn't know. And he's like, "That's not Skrillex." And I was like, "But he looks like him, right? Like, am I tripping or
Yeah.
what?" And he's like, "No, it does look like him." He's like, "You know who that is? That's the dude." He told me his name, but I didn't remember his name. But pretty much he's like, "You know who that is? That's the guy from the Goonies." Like, "You know the Goonies?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know who Mouth is? The one that wears like the members only jacket all the time?" I say, "Yeah." He's like, "That's him." I said, "What?" And I just didn't like, because I seen him and he was probably like, now he's probably like, late 30s, I think,
Li-
or 40s,
yeah, yeah. Probably in his 40s already. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't really recognize him, but yeah, that was Skrillex. And that guy's like, he's actually really short, but he had those freaking like 8-inch stilettos on, you
What the
know?
heck?
Yeah. But yeah, I just,
I need those, bro, to be taller. Shoot.
but I mean, without those, he must have been like, I don't know, like maybe like 5 feet or something.
That's
He was short dude.
crazy.
But he had, like I said, some supermodel chick with him, and I don't know if he DJs, but apparently then Gravity knows a bunch of like just weird stuff, and he was telling me
Yeah.
he's like actually he's in a band. Have you ever heard his song? I was like, what are you talking about? And then he showed me the music video. That's a whole nother story, bro.
Dang.
That's a whole
Yeah,
nother
there's
story.
I mean the like NAM is cool because it's not just for DJing, right? Like DJing is probably like 5% of NAM. It's that small of a I mean it's getting bigger. It's probably like at like almost like 10% now, but when I first went, it was the smallest little section. There was like only like one stage. Now we have like 4 or 5 places where the DJs perform at.
Yeah,
It's growing. And
yeah,
like shout out to Jetpack, shout out to the Beat Junkies, Hercules for like really stepping it up, and Pioneer for always doing their thing and
yeah.
bringing in Hoppa. But yeah, it's huge now. Like now, I'm like, if you're a DJ and you're really serious about this, like you should at least go to go to a few. You don't gotta go every year, but at least go to a few. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna see all the new equipment, and then if you're interested in like doing product reviews and like getting sponsored and working with these brands, that's a perfect place to like meet the marketing director or the owner. You know, um, it's worked out for me
You
definitely to like make those like genuine connections because you'd be surprised like these people like they the marketing people, the social media people, they'll they'll probably be watching your they'll recognize you. They'll recognize you and be like, "Oh man, I've been wanting to like talk to you and like work with you and I have some new products I want to show you." So you might go home with some free gear.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, or even if you just go to the booths, like a lot of people give out free gear regardless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have giveaways and like prizes and yeah, and then I see a lot of DJs that like go there to perform, and I think that's really cool too. Like showcase your talent because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, so I agree with that. If you have an opportunity to go, go. What about the workshops? Have you ever like attended any of the workshops at NAM?
I honestly just found out that you could attend those. I thought you need like a special pass for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even know. I was like, ah man, I've been missing out all these years.
Yeah. And NAM is not the only thing that you go to too. Like you've gone to like some like wedding convention things, right?
Yeah, there's a one in I think a wedding expo in Vegas
Hmm.
every year. That one's really cool. I mean,
Tell us
it's
about
like
that. I've never been to that. Tell me about
yeah, I
that.
think it's called the Wedding MBA. I believe it's
Yeah,
it's called.
I think so.
That one's awesome. Like that one's I actually went to a workshop for like social media workshop, and then I went to like building your business workshop, and just like that's when I really learned about like my pricing wasn't where it was, no, where I wanted it to be, and I didn't have my business structure the way I wanted it to be structured. So I feel like that was kind of like the blueprint to like start my business. And whenever you hear these people talk, don't fully do what they're doing because their style is not your style, right?
Mm.
So like the kind of clients that you have might not want such a structured business. They might just want someone a little bit more loose and like, all right, cool, like this is how much I charge. Um, you'd be surprised, like I'm very loose with my style of negotiating and like talking, like going back and forth. Just very casual. I'm not like this is how much I charge. This is what I bring. Like I'm not like that. I'm just like, all right, well, tell me about your event. All right, cool, cool. What I gotta bring? Okay, okay. All right, well, I can do it for this price. What do you think? Okay, for sure. Like this is how I work, and it works for me.
Mhm.
People like to like not feel pressured, like they're not at like a car dealership, right? Like breaking down every single little thing. Just make it fun for them. Like it's their wedding day, right? They don't want to be stressed out. They don't want to be stressed out. But like, don't be too loose where you're like, oh well, I think I'll show up and half an hour before instead of like you gotta at least like let them know, hey, I'm gonna arrive 3 hours ahead. I'm gonna have an assistant with me. Like let them feel secure, but don't be too corny with it. I feel like a lot of DJs when they approach like their sales pitch, they're a little kind of corny with it. They gotta be a little more fun.
Mm.
Make it a make it a fun experience for you. They don't want a corny DJ.
Um, at
Some do, but
at
not
that
all of
at that
them.
wedding NBA one, have you ever like held like a booth there, or is it just been attendance?
It was actually like my first time this last one. Um, I was just there just to like do the panels, but I honestly I didn't even go to the showroom floor, so I can't even tell you how that even looks like. But I'm sure there's a lot of booths with like wedding planners and DJs and photo booths.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just there for the panels at that time.
Yeah, yeah. Just curious about that stuff. Pretty much, like I said, I talked to like a kind of like a business coach, and with the business coach, they gave me some stuff, but it's like I just take it with a grain of salt, because I know that these things have worked with the certain person that they were interacting with, but you know, me necessarily, maybe it would work with me, but also just the fact that like that's not necessarily the space that I want to be in. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
like, I guess I am like kind of tiptoeing around it, and I'm kind of really figuring out like where I want to jump in, because
yeah,
I don't want to jump in at the wrong spot. I guess at the end of the day, I could go in anywhere, but I'm kind of being a little choosy, and it's also just because I don't feel like, a need to, but
yeah,
and I just mean that in the sense of like, because they're trying to, like, prime example, like they were trying to get me to do more wedding stuff, and I like weddings, but they're not my favorite.
yeah,
So uh like I wasn't like fully on in getting committed to all that. Like personally, what I would really love to do, um is I would really love to start doing like big events in terms of like, if they're house parties, I want to do like a big like big bashes, like they just turned 21 or they just turned 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. I want to do that type
mm,
of stuff. um like that's like, because at least like the music is more open typically. There's like a little bit more appreciation for it. You're dealing with older crowds, so they're gonna be a little bit more professional. Like those things I'm really kind of looking towards. And that's just it's a different environment. Like a wedding is a great fun day, like a happy day, but like a party is a party. Like it's just an all out
yeah,
party. Like there's no formality. It's like, hey, you get
yeah,
there, set up, and just fucking keep it rocking all day.
yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Like, not all weddings are fun,
Yeah.
right? Like some of them are very stressful. Some are, some like the setup is insane. Like the ceremony is like so far from the where the cocktail is at, and so far from the reception is at. Like you have all these moving parts, right? You're sweating. The wet. You got to deal with the weather. You got to deal with, you're probably wearing a suit
Hmm.
and you're hot. In the summertime, you might be at like a ranch and it's like really dusty and your equipment's getting messed up. You might have clouds in the sky. There's no coverage for your equipment. So there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things you gotta deal with. But on the sa- uh, on the same hand, like I mean, I enjoy weddings because you don't get a do over on those things, right? You get another birthday for the most part. I mean, hope God willing, but right? But like weddings, usually it's a one-off thing,
Yeah.
or sometimes a two-off thing for like a lot of people. But yeah, it's just a really cool experience, like being able to like give someone that's having their special day, right? Like the day they've been thinking about their whole entire lives, and you're the one that is the most memorable at the wedding, usually, unless it's like some really good food, and the food's sometimes better than you DJs out there.
And I do wanna
Um,
I do wanna like emphasize that, because honestly, man, like when I really look back at it, like as soon as I finished scratch, I was doing weddings. But bro, I had no idea of like the magnitude that a wedding was. And so I was out there doing them like they were nothing. And it was like this just shows my immaturity at the time because like I remember, sorry if you hear that, the dog.
that's all
But
good, brother.
I remember specifically like, hold on, I'm gonna tell the dog shut up. Um I remember specifically like doing these weddings and people being kind of like on my back. Like these guys were like, hitting me up, like calling me, and they're
Yeah,
like, "Hey, so you're gonna be there, right? Like, what time and what kind of gear you bringing? And oh, do you need it? Like,
yeah,
just like really kind of on my back." And I was like, man, like as a young like person doing these weddings, I was
yeah,
like, man, what y'all like? What y'all want now? Like, damn, y'all bugging me. Like, leave me alone. Like, I got it. I do this shit every week.
yeah,
It's whatever. But
yeah. It's
now
not though.
now that I look at it and I could see why that they why it's such a big deal. And now that I'm older, I understand like how much goes into these things. Like people spend like hundreds of thousands or thousands of dollars, whatever. Like that thing is through the roof as far as how much people spend on weddings. So yeah, I mean it makes sense as to like why it could be like so serious. um I think I did get to talk about it, but just on the quick note, last year was the first time I got to travel for a wedding. I did a wedding in France, and that was
Hmm.
amazing, amazing experience. Um, Also something that arguably like can increase my value. Like, hey, I not even arguably like like another notch on my belt, like something that I've never done, but I know I have the ability to do it. Like, can I
Yeah,
do a wedding that's out of the country? For sure, because I went to France to do it, and it was a whole ordeal, and I know exactly is what like what is required of me to do such a
exactly.
event. So all the more like something else that could increase my price range. But it was dope. It was like I said, it was in France. We were in the wine country of France. My girl went. Um, the family went. It was like a family, maybe like 30 people there. They had like
Yeah,
a castle type of deal. It was crazy, but um, it was awesome. It was really awesome, and y- you know, I mean, amount of money that was spent that day, who knows? Like, I know it was a lot because we had a lot of
a
food.
lot,
We're at this
a lot of
castle. They
money,
flew
bro.
out there. You know, freaking girl was in a dress. I don't know if I said it openly like the last time I talked about it, and I feel comfortable enough saying it because it's a learning lesson and it's something that I want to be transparent about. But truthfully, when I did that wedding, and it is kind of tough to say because it's a reality, but it's just something that like, I'm even me, I'm learning still. And so last year, when I did that wedding, I made the mistake of doing it for only like to stay out there and the airfare covered. I
Mm,
didn't I just thought I saw it as an experience. I was like, cool, like I get to do this and the
yeah,
money, whatever. Like I'm not worried about the money. Um and I should have been, I really should have been truthfully, but I was just so excited. I never been offered an opportunity like this. I never even really dreamed of going to France. I mean, aside from just a dream.
yeah,
But like I'm not the type of person really to set up my own trip, but if I have an excuse to go, I'll go. And so that's what it was. Like I had an excuse to go. And so yeah, I mean I didn't really charge anything. Um and I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody who's gonna do it, because that stuff is expensive. There's like, in hindsight, I probably would have charged him like at least like $2,500 at least.
Yeah.
Um, and that's like, I mean, half of that is the airfare, so that's not even a lot. So
Yeah.
it could definitely be more. But I think I did mention that the last time I talked, is like just that like price point. But it's just there's a lot of expenses that you don't take into consideration that I should have. But regardless, it was fun. It was, I experienced it, we lived it. And now I know better. And again, that's one more thing that I can put on my DJ belt, and that's something that now I can charge for because I have that experience.
Yeah, I mean that goes with anything that you do that's new, right? So like if you're like a sports DJ like me, like the very first sport thing I had my opportunity to like DJ, I was like, okay, I'll do it. I don't care how much it is, because you don't care. Like you just want to be in that space, right? Like for you, like you wanted to travel. That was your dream, Like there's nothing wrong with doing it for like for for cheap the first time, because you want to be in that space. It's kind of like interning, right? Like if you had a chance to intern for Jazzy Jeff, I'm pretty sure you'll do it for whatever.
Hmm.
Like you don't care, you'll show up,
Yeah.
you'll pay your own flight, right? And like for me, like like my idol, it's like it's probably like a Jay Shetty. If Jay Shetty was like, "Yo, Mike, just come hang out with me for a few days, man. Help me with all this stuff." I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll do it. I'll figure the money part out later, but I feel like if you ever have an opportunity to like work with the client or in the space or with your idols, just do it. Don't even think about money. The money will always come. The money always comes. When you're passionate about something and you're good at something, it's gonna come to you. Don't worry about it. It'll figure itself out later. Just just do it.
Yeah. And
Just
I
jump
and
on
I
it.
think that and I think it's just important to like, it just, as long as it makes sense, and try to like get the most out of it in as many ways as possible. Like if you are going to do that, get the most out of it, so whether that means getting content from it, whether that means, recording the entire time that you're with that person, like literally a
Yeah.
recorder, so that you get the most. Like there's nothing that you forget about. There's nothing that like, oh, what was that he said.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just go back to it, and these are things that
That's
are
dope.
not like expensive, but you can just like receive the most value out of that experience, you know? And that's something that I had planned on doing too, is that like even though I knew that I wasn't charging for that wedding, I knew that I was going to try to get the most out of the content, and I did get a lot of good content. And truthfully, I have yet to actually like output that content. Like I need to output
Yeah.
that I did this traveling DJ thing. I did output that I went traveling, but not as a DJ. And like that's like who I
Ooh.
could market it towards, and that's my market, and that's how I could receive some profit, or some monetization from it.
Yeah, it's never too late to like post that content, bro. I'm still posting content from like November right now, so don't worry about it. I'm posting old stuff because I mean, the winter was rough on me. I got sick a few times from like being at family parties, and it put me on my ass for like for a few weeks. So don't worry about it, bro. You're not behind. Just post it whenever you have a chance. We all want to see as DJs how cool it is to go to France. I've never been there,
Shoot.
so
Thank you.
that's super dope.
And I wanted to ask you too. Like I said, I had a couple things that I think we've gotten through a lot of it, so I'm real happy with it. But I did want to ask you, because I'm a little bit, at least newer to like the dating space. I got a girl.
Yeah.
This will be the first episode where I publicly announce it too. My girl's gonna have a baby. I'm gonna be a dad. You know, um, and so
Congrats, brother.
th-
Congrats on that for
thank you,
sure.
man. Thank you. It's exciting. I really like. I'm really blessed in the sense that I feel like genuinely excited about it. And when my girl told me about it, I really felt it as a blessing, and it felt like a gift. And that's like, I know it's cool because I can appreciate that now, but I know like looking back at it, I know that that's gonna be the best attitude that I could have had, So I'm happy that I feel that. And I was gonna just ask you, is because you have a girlfriend, and she's a DJ, but like new
Yes.
new to DJing. Like you got her in that space. So, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Whatever you wanted to share about that, just because that's cool, and that's not a dynamic that every DJ gets to experience, or is brave enough to experience, whatever. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes. Well, first, once again, congratulations, and then also I want to let your girl know this is the happiest Wally's ever been. Like I've known you for a long time, and I've never seen you this happy with anyone or anything. You're happy with her than DJing itself, bro. So that's freaking dope.
Yeah, I've
That's
told her
freaking
that.
dope.
I have told her that. I have told her that. And that's crazy because everybody's known me as, it's like, that makes me the happiest. And so someone for you to see that, and experience that,
Yeah.
it's true. It is true. And it's hard for me to say because I've been doing this for so damn long, but when it's true, it's true.
Facts, bro. So yeah, you asked about the relationship part. Yeah, man. It's been a journey for sure, and her like she was a teacher before she was a DJ, and then she wasn't very happy with her job, and I saw it in her, and then like whenever she was around me at my gigs, like I felt like it brought joy. It was like an escape from like the kids, and she loved like
What
music,
what grade
right?
was she
She's
teaching?
always honestly don't even know, bro.
Oh,
I'll let her tell that on her
there you go.
podcast
When I
with
have
you,
her, when I
okay?
have her, yes.
Yes, when you have her on the podcast. So just like to keep it really simple, yeah, man, it's been dope. I mean, she learned right away, and I just needed someone to like fill in while I was at weddings. I needed to use the restroom or like take a break, and she would just fill in and like play some music. But yeah, she just hit the ground running and just took every. She was never. What's really dope about Jezzy is that she was never really scared to um to do it like do it anywhere like to like DJ at a wedding or DJ at a festival or a corporate event. She was never scared to just go for it, and I think that kind of vulnerability, just like being able to like, well, I don't know how good I am, but I'll give it a shot,
That
right?
openness, that's that
And
openness for sure.
dude, she really gave it a shot. Like she's been she's been DJing more than me now, and I'm like her manager, so it's been dope. Like I I help her out any chance I get, and I actually prefer sometimes not DJing because she'll have a really cool event that I want to be a part of. Like she'll be doing like movie release parties and like huge corporate events, and then now she's getting hit up directly, like not even through agencies now. They're finding her on TikTok and social media, and her brand is growing. And I feel like this year is gonna be the year that like her videos are gonna go viral. She's gonna get even bigger. I'm manifesting that for her because she deserves it. She's been putting in work for these last like 5 or 6 years of DJing, and
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I see it. I see it, bro. I see it. I love to see both of y'all thriving. It makes me happy. We went to your birthday thing. That was awesome. And it's cool too, because both of y'all were DJing, and you guys are both freaking sweethearts. You guys are amazing people. I highly encourage anybody who's listening, if you ever run into these two, to definitely chop it up, because they're if I mean, I think it's pretty apparent on the podcast itself right now is that you're a nice, humble person and always willing to talk. And honestly, I think like, and then that's even like kind of just barely like hitting a little bit of the glacier of it, because like you will talk forever, as long as you can. You're always
Yes,
you're
yes,
always open to it, and with a smile on your face like the entire time.
exactly. Exactly. I love talking to DJs. At NAM, that's all I did. I didn't even see no equipment really. I was just talking to DJs, helping them out. If they had questions about what I do or and how can they get better. And honestly, like to be real, like back in the day, like when I was in my early 20s, it was all about me. Like I wanted everything to be about me. Like bragging about every gig that I did or every celebrity I met, and then that's all I would care about is like being about myself. And the older I got, the more mature I got. I was like, yo, let me find out about everybody else's journey. How can I help them, right? How can I? And then it's brought me more happiness to like to help others than to even to talk about myself. It's hard. Like this is dope because I finally get to like talk a little bit about myself, and I rarely ever do that. And I appreciate you giving me the space for it, man. Like it's I never get to like have this vulnerability of like telling you about like my relationship with Jezzy or like um in public. This is really cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's different. It's different than being at a NAM because then you're like you're quick talking and or at a gig because there's a
Yeah.
bunch of music behind you and it's you're not really getting too intimate in those spaces either because you can't. Also like yeah, you can have a deep conversation, but it can only get so deep so fast because then you're up or I'm up or or someone's giving a shout out or like the song's on and now we got to go dance or whatever it is.
Yo, I missed that last part, bro. What'd you say?
I was just saying that because pretty much like I'm on set, you're on set, or like the song came on and now we got to go dance or whatever it is. Like when you're out at the club space and the space or the spaces that we would typically run into each other, you can only get so deep so fast. And in the podcast, you have all day or
No, exactly.
you have all this
It's
time.
quick
Yeah.
moments, right? It's quick moments, and I cherish those too. Those small moments. I've had those moments with like a DJ Vice or like I'm trying to think of who else. Like Just Incredible. Like those little small like moments. Like they're DJing at a club, and like maybe after we chop it up a little bit. Or like we'll go out to eat. With like certain people that I looked up to like my whole life, and it's been it's a great opportunity. Like I feel like if you have DJs that you want to like chop it up with, or if you want to like be a part of the world, if you my advice to like a young DJ, like if I was like tell myself to to offer your services, like if you're good at creating content, go over there, bring your camera, bring your light, your microphone, record them, show them love, support them. If you want to be a part of someone's world, bring value to them. That's what I would say to every DJ because I've had people offer that like for me and it's been great. Like yeah, you wanna be my roadie for a gig and like shadow me, for sure go ahead. If anyone's on here that wants to like shadow me like doing what I'm doing, if I trust you, I'll for sure have you pull up with me.
Yeah. Yeah, you might
You
have to
know,
do like a little, maybe a small gig at first so we know that you dress the part, you act the part, and then we could take you to the bigger gig on the next one?
100%. I'll look at your social media and I kind of already know like okay, you're drinking on your videos, you're smoking on your videos. Like you're not really dressing the part at your gigs. You know,
Hmm.
you don't know how to take down your cables. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm just kidding.
Hey, there's some truth in that.
There is some truth in there. I mean, we've all been there. Though. I was that DJ back in the day, so I ain't tripping.
Awesome, man. Well, I think that covers it, bro. That really like it covered a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I had a whole like list and you know what? The cool thing is that like we got to everything that I wanted to talk about organically, really like everything that you said. Like I had I had a couple. I'm just gonna read this list real quick, like just to kind of like sum it
Yes,
up. But
do it.
I had the origin story. I said corporate events. I said your girlfriend's a DJ, social media, travel, NAM, your best experiences gig wise. And that was, I think that was like pretty much that first gig that you told us about in the first year. I had a worst experience gig one on here that we didn't talk about. Um, but then we talked about advice and then anything else that you wanted to add. So, I mean, I think that just covered a lot, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad we didn't have to do the worst experience one because I don't want to relive any of those.
Yeah, bro. Hey, it'd be like that. Um,
But,
anything that you want to tell them, like, lastly, and then of course, like, give out your social media, and then push them towards any avenues that that you want to
okay.
share, and then we'll close it out.
Yes, I mean, please look out for some DJ videos that are going to be coming to you on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Make sure to follow all those pages, and I'll be giving you guys more gems this year, giving you some more DJ tips and life hacks. So stay tuned for that. And also, if you're into or interested into being plant based or learning about that space, you can follow Plant Based on More. That's like the page I have with Jezzy that we give recipes and lifestyle. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough, man. And it's been fun. Like it's always a blessing. This guy will call me anytime during the week. He'll call me up and give me a
Yes,
ring, and I
sir.
appreciate it. He knows I appreciate it. That's why I know he continues to do it because it's never like a bother. Like I'm always like beyond blessed to hear from him and just chop it up with anything that we're doing. So yeah, man, I can't thank you enough. And this is the start of the new year, so thank you. You
Yes,
set off
sir.
my you set off the first episode for the new year, and I appreciate it, man. And I know I'll be seeing you around, and let's keep DJing, keep playing the music, bro.
Yes, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm really proud of you, bro. Congrats on the baby on the way. Little DJ Wally up there.
Everybody's asking me, like all the kids are here, my girls' kids, and they're asking me like, oh, if it's a boy, are you gonna teach it to DJ? And I said, if it's a girl, I'm gonna teach it to DJ. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is,
100%.
bro. I'm teaching it to DJ. I'm teaching it to DJ, and I really want to at least give it a shot, like to try it into soccer, bro. So
All
those are on
right.
my
Then
list.
you want a DJ Olivia and a Mia Hamm
There you
together. All
go.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I took me a second. I was like Olivia, but yeah, Olivia is nice with it.
Oh, was it DJ
Yeah,
Olivia?
Olivia,
Olivia.
Olivia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not Olivia. That's a real name, probably.
DJ
But yeah.
DJ DJ Livia, Jazzy Jeff, K Swiss, all them guys in one.
Oh, damn.
Oh, one super. I want
That's
a
gonna be
super beast, bro.
a super beast. Okay. DJ Super Beast coming soon.
From behind the booth. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This was Mike Sincere. My name is DJ Wally. Friends, family, listeners, appreciate you guys. Love you. Happy New Year. Peace.
Peace, y'all.